-8 degrees in Tampa, Florida tomorrow morning. Let me say that again. Tampa, Florida. -8 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, when's the last time your city saw temperatures that extreme? Because what's developing over the next 72 hours isn't just another winter storm. This is a pattern shift that has already claimed 41 lives, left nearly 400,000 homes in darkness, and the system moving in this weekend could deliver blizzard conditions from the Carolinas all the way to Boston. Here's what you need to know in the next 12 minutes. I am going to give you exact timing for when the snow arrives in your city, how much you are looking at, and most importantly, I'll explain why 3 different forecast models are showing completely different scenarios for Sunday. One of them has Boston getting a foot of snow. Another shows 2 to 3 feet. And there's a reason for that disagreement that you need to understand. Drop your city in the comments right now. Tomorrow morning, I'll have personalized forecasts based on overnight model runs, and here's why that matters. Between now and 6 a.m. tomorrow, we are going to get critical data that determines whether this storm explodes off the Carolina coast or stays inland. That's the difference between 6 inches and 20 inches for millions of people. Let me deliver on that promise right now. Charlotte, North Carolina, snow begins Saturday afternoon around 2 p.m., heaviest Saturday night into Sunday morning. You're looking at 8 to 14 inches. Raleigh, you're in the jackpot zone. Snow starts Saturday evening, absolute heaviest Sunday morning, 12 to 20 inches possible with blizzard conditions. Richmond, Virginia, you are getting in on this Sunday morning through Sunday afternoon, 6 to 12 inches. Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Sunday afternoon and evening. This is where it gets interesting. 10 to 18 inches with sustained winds 40 to 50 miles per hour. That is blizzard criteria, everybody. Boston, you realize to get hit Sunday night into Monday morning, and this is where the models diverge wildly. We'll get to that in a minute. But first, let me show you what's happening right this second that nobody's talking about. While everyone's focused on this weekend storm, we've got another crisis playing out in real time. Tennessee still has 128,000 homes without power. Mississippi, 114,000. Louisiana, 71,000. And tomorrow morning, the northern half of the United States wakes up to negative temperatures before you even factor in wind chill. Here as the compounding threat. These families without power, they made it through the last storm. They survived the extreme cold that followed. Now they're being told another major winter storm is developing, and their power still isn't back. That's not just inconvenient, that's life-threatening. And the timing of this next system means utility crews trying to restore power are racing against Saturday's arrival. Let me walk you through how this is going to unfold, and I want you to pay attention to the timing because this matters for your preparation. Friday, tomorrow, you are waking up to brutal cold across the entire eastern half of the country. But the storm, it hasn't organized yet. We are watching moisture in the Gulf of Mexico, energy in the jet stream, and Friday is your preparation day. If you anywhere from Atlanta to Boston, Friday is when you get your supplies, check on your neighbors, make sure you've got what you need. Saturday morning, things start to change. Minor impacts begin across northern Georgia. And I want to emphasize minor because people hear snow in Atlanta and they panic. We re-talking coding to maybe 2 inches for metro Atlanta. It's not the big story there. But as you go north into upstate South Carolina around Greenville, Anderson, you are starting to see 3 to 5 inches by Saturday afternoon. Here's where it gets really interesting. Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening, the storm begins to organize off the South Carolina coast. And this is the critical moment. This is what we call bombogenesis, when a storm rapidly intensifies over the ocean. The low pressure drops, the winds increase, and suddenly you've got a monster on your hands. Columbia, South Carolina, you're seeing snow Saturday afternoon, 4 to 8 inches. Asheville, North Carolina, you're getting hit Saturday afternoon and evening, 6 to 10 inches. And you know better than anyone after what you've been through, this is significant. Hickory, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, Saturday evening through Sunday morning is your worst window, 8 to 14 inches. Now here's what concerns me about North Carolina specifically. You've got the inland snow, which is substantial, but then you've got the coastal impact, and that's where this could get really dangerous. Wilmington, New Bern, the Outer Banks, Sunday is when you get absolutely hammered. Not just heavy snow, we re-talking about sustained winds 45 to 55 miles per hour with gusts even higher. That whiteout conditions, that zero visibility, that blizzard criteria that could last for hours. Let me jump up to Virginia real quick because the timeline shifts as you go north. Roanoke, Danville, you are in this Saturday night, 6 to 10 inches. Charlottesville, you are seeing heavy snow Sunday morning, 8 to 12 inches. And then Richmond, this is where the track makes all the difference. If the storm stays a little further south, you might see 6 to 8 inches. If it shifts north, you could be looking at 14 to 16. Let me pause here and explain something about forecast models because this is going to matter for what I tell you next. We rely on three main systems. Their S, the GFS, which is American. Their S, the European model, which historically has been more accurate for East Coast winter storms. And their S, the Canadian model. Right now, all three agree this is a significant storm. Where they disagree is intensity and exact track. The European model is showing the storm staying mostly offshore, which means coastal areas get destroyed with heavy snow and wind, but inland areas might see less. The GFS is showing a slightly more westward track, which spreads heavier totals further inland. And the Canadian model, it is kind of splitting the difference but leaning more aggressive overall. Here's why you need to check back tomorrow morning. The overnight model runs will give us much better clarity. We still 60 hours out from the main event. In winter storm forecasting, a 50-mile shift in track can mean the difference between 6 inches and 18 inches. That's not me hedging, that is just honest meteorology. But let me continue with the timeline because you need to understand when this hits you. Sunday morning, this is when the mid-Atlantic gets crushed. Baltimore, if the track shifts a bit west, you could see significant snow, maybe 6 to 12 inches. If it stays offshore like the Euro suggests, you might only see 3 to 6. Washington, D.C., similar situation. The uncertainty range is wide right now. What I can tell you with confidence is Sunday is a stay-home day for the entire region. Delaware, southern Maryland, the Delmarva Peninsula, Sunday morning through Sunday afternoon, you are looking at 8 to 16 inches with the higher amounts right along the coast. Dover, Salisbury, Ocean City, this is a serious situation developing. Philadelphia, you are in this Sunday afternoon, and the good news for you is the storm should be moving quickly enough that accumulations stay in the 6 to 12 inch range. Still significant, but not the 30-inch bombs we've seen before. New Jersey, and this is fascinating, southern New Jersey could get hit hard with 10 to 16 inches, but as you go north toward Newark, Trenton, it drops off considerably, maybe 4 to 8 inches. That is how sharp the gradient is with this system. New York City, and I know everyone wants to know about the city, you are on the northern edge of this. Current thinking is 6 to 10 inches, heaviest Sunday afternoon and evening. But if this jogs 20 miles north, you could be looking at significantly more. And if it stays south, you might only see 4 to 6. Long Island, eastern Long Island specifically, Sunday afternoon and evening, you are getting into the heavier bands. 10 to 16 inches possible with strong winds creating blowing and drifting snow. Now let me get to the most uncertain part of this forecast, New England. And I'm going to be very honest with you, we don't have great clarity yet on what happens here. Connecticut, Rhode Island, you are in this Sunday evening into Sunday night. The spread between models is enormous right now. Conservative estimate, 8 to 14 inches. Aggressive estimate, 18 to 24 inches. That's a huge range, and it comes down to how quickly the storm intensifies and how far north it tracks. Boston, this is what I mentioned at the beginning. The European model shows you getting about 12 to 16 inches Sunday night into Monday morning. Significant but manageable for a city that knows how to handle snow. The GFS is more aggressive, showing 20 to 30 inches, and the Canadian is in between but leaning toward the higher end. Which one's right? We want to know until tomorrow's model runs. What I can tell you is all three show strong winds, all three show blizzard conditions, and all three show this being a long-duration event for you. It's not a quick-hitting system that drops snow and leaves. This is going to be hours of heavy snow with winds creating near-zero visibility. Portland, Maine, you are getting in on this Monday morning, and you could see significant accumulations as well. 12 to 20 inches is within the realm of possibility. Let me come back to something I mentioned earlier because it is important. We are seeing some lake effect snow developing, but there's a pattern shift coming behind this storm that's going to keep things active. This isn't a one-and-done situation. After this system moves through, we've got another Arctic blast coming, and there are signals for additional snow chances late next week. Here's what you need to do right now. If you are anywhere in the impact zone, use tomorrow to prepare. Check on elderly neighbors. Make sure people without power know where warming centers are located. Stock up on essentials if you haven't already. For those in the Carolinas and Virginia, Saturday is your critical day. Roads are going to deteriorate quickly Saturday afternoon and evening. Sunday, dawn tea travel unless it's absolutely necessary. Mid-Atlantic and Northeast, Sunday is your day to stay home. Period. And I want to say this specifically to anyone still dealing with power outages from last week's storm. This is not fair. I know you are exhausted. I know you are frustrated. Please, if you need help, ask for it. Knock on a neighbor's door. Find a warming center. Don't try to tough this out alone. I'll have updates tomorrow morning. First thing, the overnight model runs are going to give us much better clarity on exact snow totals, timing, and where that jackpot zone sets up. This is still an evolving forecast, and I want to be straight with you about the uncertainty that remains. The one thing I'm very confident about is this is a significant storm. The exact details we'll nail down tomorrow. Drop your city in the comments. I read every single one, and tomorrow I'll have personalized updates for you. And if you found this helpful, hit that like button so more people in the path of this storm can get the information they need. Stay safe, everybody. Check on your neighbors. And remember, we all